And that was the craziest DM I've ever gotten. What is going on, everybody? This is the Coverbandconfidential podcast, the podcast of cover band musicians and band leaders to learn how to rock more and suck less. In Atlanta, Georgia, I'm Adam Johnson.
In Greensboro, North Carolina, I'm Dan Ray.
It's been quite a week.
You got some stories to tell.
I do indeed. And one of them I don't feel like I can tell like either of them fully through, but like next week maybe I can tell one of them all the way through.
Right.
We'll keep that under wraps for just this second. How's it going?
Fine.
We've been talking in the pre-show that you've got some exciting stuff outside of the show. Like, I don't know if you guys know this. We're actually fully fleshed out human beings.
Actual
that
people
do things
with interests beyond this, yes.
And so, yeah, there's exciting things. But, in this scenario, I've got some cool on-topic stuff to talk about, and you've got cool off-topic stuff.
Right.
That,
which is for the patrons. If you are interested in that, $5 will get you that.
Yeah, and I mean, they know tons of stuff that, we have not divulged before. So let's see, let's do some catching up. The thing I won't say I'm most excited about it, but I'm very excited about is my picks came in.
Sweet.
So if you're watching this on the YouTube channel, see if I can get this to focus.
Awesome.
So there is the Stranger Things logo style one side, and then this is the QR code side that goes to our website.
Perfect.
And they're a bit thinner than the last order I got, but like still within kind of like my tolerance level and stuff. So Picks of Destiny once again knocked it out of the park. Discount Excellent. For CBC, save 10%, get them.
Very good.
Let's see. I did end up I made a gear purchase.
Yeah.
Like a system-wide one. So a couple of weeks ago, Headrush announced that they were releasing a vocal pedal with Antares Autotune built in.
Yeah, VX5.
Yep. And I was intrigued, saw some footage, some demo stuff. It wasn't really specialized in the kind of stuff that we do, but there's a company that's like a subsidiary of Sweetwater called Neat Audio, and Neat Audio builds playback rigs and, kind of those flight rack type deals. And, they sell a playback rig that includes live vocal tuning that is very expensive. And part of the reason why it is so expensive is that it requires you to have some sort of interface that's got onboard processing, and then the licensing for Autotune, which is now a subscription that you're playing through like Ableton Live or something to that effect. And you have to typically buy two of them for redundancy purposes. Well, instead of spending $1,200 on an interface and then an additional $300 some odd on a license, you can now get these programmable boxes for $299.
Okay.
And so, with the thanks of my Sweetwater financing situation, I bought two of them.
Nice.
They'll be here on Wednesday, which is unfortunate because I could use them on something that's happening on Tuesday. But they are fully programmable. You can link them up with Ableton or whatever your playback system is, where it will shift the keys throughout the show as the songs progress. And you too can have vocals like the pros. And it's way cheaper now. So we're going to give them a shot. And, we've got some stuff coming up that I can really put them through their paces and, be on the lookout for some sort of review in the near future once they arrive.
It's good. That vocal pedal from Headrush was the piece of the Headrush core that I decided to leave in my TC Helicon world, the vocal processing. I have a Play Live that I use on every acoustic gig. And so I bought the small format Headrush Flex, which doesn't have any of that stuff. And now they've come out with that stuff in its own pedal, and it's now I might have to be a full-on Headrush guy because.
Did we do the numbers? Like, is it if you take yours and then you add the vocal effects on, do you get the price of the core?
I haven't done the numbers. I think more than price, I'm interested in size and flexibility because I don't usually bring my electric guitar effects pedal to an acoustic show.
Sure.
I have a separate board for just that, and then I've had the Quad Cortex off to the side, powered by the same Sweetfoot power system, with just an extension cable over to it. But if in fact it could all live on the same rig and just travel together, that's a improvement. So
yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, I'm already using my HX rig for acoustic gigs.
Mm-hmm.
This would be as simple as literally just swapping out my Voice Live with this.
And it's way smaller than the Voice Live. There's like no footprint problem.
Well, but I've got the Voice Live Play, so I don't know what the size compares to as far as that goes. It's probably smaller. I don't know if it's necessarily like markedly.
Totally is. 100% is.
And the programmability and the customizability and the ease of doing that is much better as far as the interface goes on this Headrush unit than what you can do on the Voice Live. And I'm very excited to give it a shot.
Plus, I'm worried about Helicon. I haven't seen new units out of them in a long time.
Yeah.
I guess they're still making the Voice Live, but it hasn't had an update in 10 years, maybe.
I think it's longer than that.
Yeah, so that's kind of scary.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, this is brand spanking new, and I thought you can't beat the price.
Sure.
I would love a rack style version of something like this. The Tascam has had one for a bajillion years that they have never updated, as far as I can tell. It's the same one that they were selling back in like 2008. But this is it's promising, so we shall see.
Yep.
Moving along, I'm still waiting to get my guitars back from the tech. I did get word today that my Explorer has a couple of extenuating circumstances. That means it won't be ready. I do have to pick some of them up, though, because a gig that turned up for tomorrow, today is Monday, for Tuesday evening, and I would rather play my Schecters than a Steinberger, and so I don't know. I've got to figure that out. There's a lot of stuff has to happen between now and 10 p.m. tomorrow, so hopefully I can get it all sorted.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it as far as catching up. I did share this with Dan. I found this awesome 3D print file on basically it's just like a template for soldering mic cables. So there's like an XLR section where you put your pin in. I've actually got one in right now. And it's just a way to hold them steady while you do your soldering and stuff.
So helpful.
A neat little doodad.
When I was doing soldering about
use.
RC airplanes, I had a device that had a heavy base and then two arms with alligator clips on the end.
Are you talking about one of these?
I am one of those. Just one of those.
So in order,
is what that's called.
Yes, in order to get free shipping on some stuff that I needed for this gig, I was $10 short, and guess what? This was $10,
and it's handy.
So we got free shipping. Yeah. Well, I mean, I haven't gotten a chance to use it, but I'm assuming it will be.
Yeah. Well, maybe with the cabling, your printed rig there is a better option. But when you're trying to solder like controllers and battery parts and connectors and stuff for RC airplanes, it's all very fiddly and on the end of wires and stuff. And you really need clamps that can hold it in the air like that. So it's pretty good.
Yep. Let's see. No review this week, but a couple of housekeeping notes. We hit 5,000 subs on YouTube this past week. And within like a couple of days, we hit 1.5 million views, which is, to me, the craziest thing.
Didn't we just hit 1 million?
Yes, we hit 1 million views in the middle of June.
So,
and it is now like the second week in August, and we have hit 1.5.
This is momentum, is what this is. This is what momentum feels like.
Right. And so there's something somebody said about having more people subscribing because that's more people consuming the stuff that you're making.
Yeah.
Even though less than 7% of the people who consume our stuff are subscribed to our channel. So just saying.
Yeah. Listen up and subscribe. Hit like.
Hit that like button.
Smash that like.
Yeah. Smash subscribe.
Whatever
or
it
something.
Is. Yeah. I see these. I follow some YouTubers who are pretty big, and one of them has 12.5 million subscribers, and his number one video is how I got to 10 million. So I get this feeling of like we got to some point, and then like after that, I'm kind of not paying attention for a while. That's kind of what this feels like. I mean, much smaller, but
sure,
what it feels like.
Yeah, the idea that it took us 8 years to get to 1 million.
Yep.
And less than 2 months to get to 1.5.
Right.
Well, they say is like, the first million is the hardest one to make. And I guess I now know what that means. I wouldn't have known it otherwise.
I feel it in my heart.
But now I get it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, like there's just cool stuff happening.
Yeah.
And if you would like to have your name mentioned on the show, you could, leave us a review, but like, we've got stuff going on in the show. We don't necessarily need that section every single week, but it would sure be nice.
Yeah. No, we like the feedback.
Stuff I can send my mom
from you. We like to, we like the praise. It feels good.
Yes, absolutely. But that's it. We're all caught up.
Okay.
And I guess we can transition into this thing that happened. So last week we got this crazy deluge of gig inquiries. Like it was in one day we got 3, which is a lot because, we're typically playing 2 to 3 times a month to get stuff. Basically, if half of these get booked, then we're pretty much set for the year as far as dates go. But one of them stuck out because it was for a really interesting event. I'm not going to divulge names because I don't know how far into it we want to go.
Let's just say.
But we were asked to play the after party of a Grammy-nominated artist after their show in Atlanta. And it was one of those deals where I sent out the APB. I was like, hey, do you guys want to play till 1 a.m. on a Tuesday night? And everybody was, before I even got a chance to respond, I was like, what if I said it was for this person? And everybody kind of perked up.
You sent Mike and me a screenshot of the text.
Yes.
Am I being punked?
Yeah. Yeah. Cause it didn't feel plausible.
Right.
But there's just been weird stuff in the air this year. Because there's another thing that's already set in motion that I haven't told anybody about other than inner circle folks that is equally kind of bonkers. So bass player couldn't do it. Our number 1 sub was available because of course he was, because it's a random Tuesday night. And unless you're traveling or, have that kind of job, you probably have something to do. Pay's not fantastic, but, this is one of those things. You're just doing it for the story.
Yep.
And my hope is once we get on the other side of it, I can divulge more information about what is going on.
And it's this week, right?
It's literally tomorrow.
Yeah.
So by the time this episode comes out, will have already happened. We'll do some form of post-mortem next week.
Right.
And I'm sure the Patreon group will get something literally next day.
For sure.
After I recover from playing until at least 1 o'clock and then having my alarm go off at 5:30.
Right.
Yay, parenthood. In the midst of this, besides just having to prep for things a little faster than we were anticipating, we were supposed to have a gig in 2 weeks, and it's a similar situation where we're doing live band. Well, no, actually, that next one is not live band karaoke, but we've got a bunch of them coming up. So some of the system stuff that we were working on needed to be buttoned up. I'm not sure if the Cat 6 situation will be done by then. And I don't know if I necessarily want to risk it on a gig with stakes like this.
Right.
So I'll probably hold off on that. But had to order some hardware and stuff. So we're using Request Now for our song list and all of that. And the way that everything is linked is through QR codes. And I'm not sure what kind of signage they have in the room. So I got some of these 4x6 plastic kind of stand deals.
Yep.
And then printed out some, just basic information, artwork, whatever, to slide into those. And we'll disperse those around the venue. And yeah, getting my guitars and, just wrapping up all of the logistical things about this kind of thing. But outside of that, it was an interesting thought experiment about, okay, what do you do in order to leave a good impression on your clientele when famous people are involved?
Yeah.
Because there were some conversations that were had in our group chat with the band. It was like, hey, do you think it's worth reaching out to a photographer? I was like, no, I don't. Nothing would make me more stoked than to have dope pictures of us playing to a packed house filled with, celebrities or whatever. But it's also a surefire guaranteed way to never get that chance again.
Right.
So, wanted to think about the things that you need to keep in mind if you are presented with this opportunity. Some of us may never run into it, but it's important to do that. Now, we didn't really know how to approach it.
But you did what we do in 2025.
Yeah. So I was like, hey, I'll just go on ChatGPT and ask him or them and see what they say.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. I said, hey, I've got a gig tomorrow night that is featuring a Grammy person. What are the do's and don'ts of doing a gig like this to make sure that you don't screw it up? And I'll be dipped. ChatGPT came back with 10 things that pretty much nailed it.
Yep.
And so that's what we're going to do today is we're going to go through the 10 things to keep in mind when you get the opportunity to play for an event with potential celebrity guests. So I'm going to finish my Pinot Grigio and then we're going to get into it.
Yum. I was joining you on some Malbec here.
Okay. Number 1, keep it professional.
Yeah.
When you go into these kind of scenarios, you just need to be normal and cool.
Yeah.
And not be unnormal and uncool.
Right. I do think there is a way to be appreciative of who you're meeting and the occasion of that.
Sure.
That doesn't turn you into some small fawning thing.
Right.
Like, oh, wow, so great to have this opportunity. What an amazing thing to meet you. Thank you so much for having us here.
Sure.
Here's what we're going to go do.
Yeah.
Right? That's all cool.
Yeah.
I think people appreciate that.
Yeah. So be excited, but don't freak out. Don't be one of those people. Don't super fan or stand somebody to their face.
Right.
It's not great.
Right.
You want to treat everybody the same.
Yeah.
And that's ultimately what they're looking for.
And when people who are famous like that are met by someone who's like, wow, what an honor. Amazing.
Yeah.
That's different from the kind of crazy superfan stuff that they cringe from. So
yeah. Well, and there's just there's a social contract that I feel like has been eroded. And I see videos all the time where famous people are like, people just don't act right.
Right.
So by just being a professional, if you get the opportunity to run into that person, shake their hand, say, nice to meet you, thanks for having us, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But you're there to do a job.
Right.
And that's what you need to be focusing on.
Right. And bear in mind, this person is in the music industry and has had the job you've had and understands what you're there to do and is going to see you through the lens of having come up through that. Right. So don't be a way that if you saw somebody else doing that, you would cringe.
Yeah. So just do your best to keep it on the level, and you can fan out a little bit, but just enough.
Yeah.
And you won't know it until you go too far, but you will know when it happens.
Yeah. But just
try to avoid that.
Be cool. Just be cool.
Kind of in tandem with that, the next thing to consider is confidentiality.
Mm-hmm.
So part of the thing when somebody at the band was asking about media, I was like, hey, this thing get brought up, but I would not be surprised if there's an NDA involved. And their enforceability is kind of nebulous at this point, but there is a certain understanding that people who get these kinds of opportunities get them because they are not going to air dirty laundry. Hence the reason why I'm talking about this vaguely and not name dropping, because I don't want to run the risk of, stepping on people's toes and potentially blowing another opportunity.
Right. Or getting sued. I mean, it could go as far as, if somebody saw something happen that they then went public about, and it wasn't what they thought it was. Truth is an absolute defense against libel and defamation. But if they misunderstood something or whatever, it could become a legal liability. So just shut your yap.
Well, and it's also the kind of thing where it's like, I'm not going to bring my metas on a gig like this.
Right.
I don't plan on taking photos or videos unless explicitly told it's okay.
Yep.
If we get an opportunity to get a picture with this artist, then, by all means, we're going to go for it.
For sure.
But it's pretty safe to assume that no photos, no videos, no gossiping. That's just, it's unspoken. So, even after this whole thing is said and done, my ability to give the full rundown publicly might be limited.
Right.
And it may not be. It may be a big nothing burger, or, the people that we talked with were cool and, nothing super scandalous happened, and you could just share the night how it goes.
Yeah.
But just assume that mum's the word.
Yeah. Yep.
And stick to that.
Exactly.
The third one, I'm going to kind of glaze over because it's set list and energy match. This is gig 101.
Table
You're playing a
stakes.
private event.
100%.
Don't play the wrong stuff.
Right.
Now, that being said, when we were initially approached, the contact who reached out to me was there with this person's management. I was like, hey, did you send them a song list to make sure that we're playing the right stuff? And his words were pretty straightforward. He's like, no, we're not going to worry about that. This was a last minute thing, and you are available, so you guys play what you play.
Okay.
No, that doesn't mean that we're not going to do our best to match the vibe of the room.
Yeah.
But it was one of those things where we were literally told, just do what you do.
Here's the other thing. You may be tempted to cover one of the artist's songs.
Yeah, and there's definitely a precedent of this person kind of walking up to do those kinds of things. Did we chart out this person's big single?
Of course you did. Of course you did.
Do we get to pull it? Because again, this is a 90-minute thing. This is not it's kind of a fleeting situation, and that's if everything goes according to plan, and these things rarely do. Our goal is to play for 90 minutes, and when it's live band karaoke, that may be 20 songs, maybe.
Yeah.
So we're there to foster a good time and be cool.
Plus, they just came down off stage.
Right. So they're, yeah. I feel like we're basically there to be the entertainment for this artist and their friends.
Yeah.
Now, and it's supposed to be slam, so I think that's not what I'm worried about. But ultimately, we're going to do the job that we came to do with a couple of tricks in our back pocket just in case.
Yeah.
Because I went so far as to work up a cover that they did on a thing before things kind of blew up for them, and I don't know. I'm 100% overthinking the situation.
Yeah.
So yeah, just be willing to. Well, actually, that's a little lower down on the list, so we'll just
leave it in that. Yeah.
Wardrobe and image, not really worried about that either. This is a private event, but it's at a kind of a divey place, so we're gonna wear what we normally wear. But,
ChatGPT's advice here: think well-styled and on-brand rather than "this is my audition for America's Next Rock God."
Right.
The fact of who your audience is shouldn't really don't be swayed by that in terms of what you are going to deliver.
Well, just don't be extra.
Yeah.
And I think this is different depending on where you are in whatever stage of your career, because I could see a situation like this coming up when I was 10, 15 years younger, and these things would not have been second nature to me, and the potential for me to be weird or mess the situation up was much higher when my aspirations were different.
Yeah.
Because if you're looking at a gig like that as an opportunity to get to the next level, you're probably not going to get that result, and B, you could completely burn every bridge out there by trying to.
Yeah.
So you shouldn't.
Yeah. The thing about getting discovered is that it's not a phenomenon you have much control over.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to, this is my opportunity to get discovered, let me just buff up everything I'm doing and be as shiny as possible, that is the opposite of what somebody who might discover you, quote unquote, would be looking for.
Well, and I think, honestly, because I don't have any I think the idea of a band playing hard but not super, I don't know, polished would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
For them, because that's what they're they've got this particular thing that they're always kind of locked in on. So even things being kind of fast and loose would actually could be a plus in a scenario like that.
I would say.
Not that we're aiming for it, but I'm just saying something to keep in mind.
Yeah.
Kind of unrelated to that, keep stage banter to a minimum. Don't point people out. Don't tell stupid jokes trying to I don't know, get a rise out of people. Again, even if you're not looking for a leg up, the thing that I'm thinking about is if this is a room full of important people that live in my city, those are gig client potential customer people.
Yeah.
So I just want to do a good job and not alienate or scare people away.
And you may be impressed that they're in the room, but they're not impressed that they're in the room. They're in every room that they're in.
That's right.
So calling them out says more about you than it does about them. Right.
And it doesn't mean if you see somebody you can, I don't know. It's tricky because if one of those people decide they want to come up and do a song because it's karaoke, then yeah, you can say something about it. But don't slag their creative output or make a joke about something that
politics or
yeah. Just
don't.
Just don't.
Just don't.
If you're thinking, hey, wouldn't it be? No.
Nope.
It wouldn't be.
Just don't.
The best thing that you could do is to be forgettable.
That's right. That's right. You are a cipher.
Yeah. Next one up, number 7. They're saying, I'm sorry, number 6. My bad.
Yeah.
Is be flexible and low maintenance, which is exactly what we were saying. Be forgettable.
And listen, this is, again, table stakes for a corporate gig.
Yeah. The thing that always cracks us up is that when we get booked to do some sort of private event and it's like a charity gala or whatever, the 2 words that make everybody in this industry understand that your itinerary and your run of show is just in the wind is live auction. Every single time that we have been a part of something that included a live auction, our run of show never happened. It always takes longer than they think it will. And we always end up starting late, but typically we still have to end at the contracted time because of, other reasons. So we end up playing less. And I don't know, this is supposed to be from 11:30 to 1 a.m. I don't want to necessarily be flexible about how late we can play because I've got to get up in the morning.
Yeah.
But, if we're supposed to start at 11:30 and the place is literally empty, we're not going to do that.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure that the venue, the people who work there don't want to be out any later than we want to.
No, they feel the same as us. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, just be flexible. Don't be particular. Don't pitch fits. Don't be difficult.
Don't be a problem. Be the solution to problems. Don't be the
That's
problem.
right. Yes, you are a tool in this scenario.
Yep.
And you don't want to be... You want to be a tool, not a tool.
Not
you know
a
what
tool,
I mean?
Yeah.
Right? And man, it's such a fine line. Actually, there's not. It's pretty well defined.
It's the opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, now let's go to 7.
Okay.
I was so excited about
Here
this.
we are. Let's do it.
Whew. Respect security and boundaries. Keep your distance. Don't be a creep. Don't go places where you were not supposed to go.
Yeah.
So if there's an area that's roped off, don't worry about it. It's not for you.
Don't chase down that celebrity you always wanted to meet.
Nope. I have said in previous situations we're the entertainment, not the help. In a scenario like this, we're closer to the help.
Yeah. Yeah.
And not in a way that you need to debase yourself or not
or
get
demeans
the things
us. Yeah.
Yeah. But just that there's a social hierarchy in this room and you need to respect it. Because if you don't, there's other problems.
Yep.
Stay in your lane, be where you're supposed to be, and don't be where you're not supposed to be.
Yep.
Because if you push it and security's tight, you might get thrown out or hit or knocked over. Or,
Could be.
I don't really care for any of that.
No. Especially if you got a set 2 coming up.
Yep. Moving along. Keep things tight.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about keeping banter minimal. This also includes setup time. So, like I said, tomorrow night's not the night to test out our Cat 6 system.
For sure.
Use what works and be as efficient as possible. Now, my motivation to do that is that I want to make sure that, all of the gear stuff is taken care of. I reached out to their tech person, have not heard back. So I'm going to have to make some assumptions and probably some contingencies that may or may not be necessary. But I just want to make sure that everything works.
Right.
So I want as much time as possible in the room before downbeat to make sure that there aren't any hiccups or curveballs, in the moment. I don't want people waiting on us. We want to be set up and rearing to go before anybody, walks through the door. No new gear, no testing stuff out, no prototyping, just what works. And that's it. In our situation, we're not going to worry about bringing our Ableton rig. It's going to be our bare bones playback tracks, bare bones monitoring, just the
simplest
stuff that
possible.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the goal. All right. So the next thing, let's say you get a chance to talk to the guest of honor or somebody in that echelon that you've got, you now have access to. How do you handle it?
Mm-hmm.
So is this a networking opportunity? What do you think?
It is. Obviously it is, but it's delicate.
Yeah.
Networking kind of depends on everyone being there on an even footing. And you're not. You're hired.
Sure.
So I think there's a little bit of grace that you've got to sort of introduce yourself and try and be remembered, but not much. And you got to be careful not to push past that boundary.
Well, I think there are certain parameters that you are cool to operate in because in this scenario, this person is a recording artist.
Yeah.
So
they kind of know the deal. They've played some bars.
Right. And so if they approach you and they're asking about you,
that's
you
totally
can talk
different.
about you.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
And if they introduce hey, this is so-and-so, you can kind of continue down that path. But it's not the time to share your concept album, notes and the way that you're trying to redefine the genre or whatever. You say, yeah, no, I do this and I work here and I do this when I'm not doing that and I have this thing. If I get a chance to say, yeah, I do this and I make content about playing in bands like this, that's probably it. I'm not going to go I'm not going to go out of my way to share anything else.
That's probably it. And that assumes the opportunity's been given to you by it coming to you.
Yeah.
Right? You seeking out those people in the room to try and, have them appreciate you isn't going to go well.
Yeah. So, yeah, and nobody likes a hard sell.
Nobody likes a hard sell.
Especially when they didn't ask for.
And it's a party.
Yeah. When we interviewed Finn McKenty back in the day, we had this conversation about punishers.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to be a punisher where somebody ends up feeling like you've cornered them at the bar and you're just info dumping or doing something that is just harshing the mel of the room. So don't do that.
Don't do that.
If you're going to network, do it subtly. Be gracious and brief. If they ask about you, go for it. But don't try and insert yourself into conversations that you're not in and just being a weirdo in general.
Also, they might ask about you to be polite.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an opportunity to very delicately read the room.
Yeah. You don't necessarily need to explain your entire journey to getting here.
Right.
You can keep things vague. Think about it at literally like a cocktail party. If someone asks what you do, you try and wrap it up in a sentence or two,
mm-hmm.
and don't try and get into the weeds about stuff. You be as forgettable as possible, but if there are things that look to be perceived opportunities where you can share information or you can be of service, you could be a tool in a particular scenario because of a skill set or something that you've got, I don't think that's a hard sell.
No.
Because if someone's like, oh, I have this problem, you'd be like, oh, I can solve that problem.
Exactly. No, being the solution to a problem is a whole different thing from being a hard sell.
Right. So don't be the problem. Be the solution if you can be. And if you can't be the solution, maybe just keep your mouth shut.
Just be quiet. Be quiet. If you're not the solution to the problem they're saying, don't make anything up. Just like, well, yeah, that is a problem.
Yeah. Last one, exit gracefully. Don't linger. Just like everything else, you've got a job to do. So when things are wrapped up, just pack your stuff up, coil them cables. If somebody comes up and says, hey, good set or whatever, you can take a minute. But like the last thing you want to be is the last group just like hanging out, like waiting.
I feel like this is the one where ChatGPT missed it.
Really?
Yeah. The people who matter, who you care about connecting with, they're going to be long gone by the time you're coiling cables.
Yeah, but I guess it's who are you lingering around for?
Okay. Unpack that.
Depending on the scenario, I mean, it's going to make sense that the band would be the last group out of the venue, potentially.
I mean, there'll be
Doesn't
venue
have
people.
to be that way.
There'll still be venue people there.
Sure,
somebody's going to lock the door behind you.
Right, but if you can just like GTFO, you should.
Oh, always.
So if so-and-so is in the VIP section and you're trying to, again, not do what we told you to not do in the last one, just kind of like standing around the periph, like waiting.
So the theory then is you've finished at 1 a.m.
Yep.
But there's now a DJ who's going to go till 3.
Sure.
Like, don't linger because you were the band and you were cool once in the room and now you have cred and can sneak your way into the VIP area.
Right.
Yeah,
because it's still not your party.
It's not your party. No, yeah, don't do that. That's weird.
You don't magically become a guest when the set's over.
Right.
So unless explicitly asked or invited, like your job is to pack up, be polite.
Yep.
Thank the people that, brought you in if they're still around. But otherwise just like get in, get out, but be nice about it.
Yep.
I mean, that's pretty much it. I don't think any of this stuff was necessarily like groundbreaking, stuff we didn't know before.
A lot of it was, corporate gig or party gig 101. And then also don't be weird about celebrities.
Sure. And I mean, that's really what it is. It's just like it's social graces. It's like being able to read the room and be polite and don't draw unnecessary attention to yourself.
Right.
And that's it. If you can do those things, you might get a chance to do it again.
Yeah. And you're going to get a chance to do it tomorrow night.
Yep. And I will tell you as much about it as I can tell you.
Oh, it's exciting.
And then, at some point I'll get some additional information about this October thing and we can get into that at some point.
Cool.
And I don't know if I even like kind of touched on this, but the October thing, which will be revealed at some point, is I social media'd a little too close to the sun and got another kind of opportunity that is, anyway. This one was totally random. And I think it has more to do with our SEO than anything else.
Yeah.
Because they were looking for a live band karaoke deal in Atlanta, and I'm pretty sure we're like number 1 when you type in live band karaoke Atlanta. And I'm not sure how we got that because like there were other bands that did this before we did, but something about the way that site is set up, we're top of the heap.
It's good.
And so I think it was a situation where a band was booked. There was some sort of family situation and they needed a second, option. And that was us. And the band dropped and we were in. And this whole thing literally like was wrapped up on Sunday. So cool. That's the other thing is being flexible. It's like, well, yeah, you've got 4 days, 3 days notice. Can you pull this together? It's one of the things that's it's really interesting because like there are so many bands that are like booked out 6 to 18 months ahead. And I feel like every year we have this thing. It's like, I don't know if we're like going to be busy. And then all of a sudden it's like boom, 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 boom. And it's all this like kind of short-term stuff. Mm-hmm. Everything else that we've gotten over the past week or two has been for the next 2 months. Like it's before November.
Yeah.
The planning portions of these kinds of events are kind of, it kind of depends. I can understand where like a venue where you are slated to play there every 6 to 8 weeks will go ahead and want to book you out that far. But private events, unless they're like weddings, that business just doesn't work that way.
Right.
So it's going to be a lot of last minute stuff. And that's what that's kind of been the way that we've operated this whole time.
Yeah.
So that's it. I hope I can tell you guys more about it. But
I look forward to hearing more, even if we don't end up with it on the pod.
Oh yeah, you guys will get the unfiltered. You and Schulte, you know, that's the inner circle. I don't know where I was going to go with that. Folks, thanks so much for tuning in. We're feeling the wind to our backs at the moment, and that's cool.
Yeah.
I've got new guitars and new pedals coming in and gigs and stuff to work on, and I'm not fully freaked out just yet. Ask me tomorrow, maybe we'll talk, but yeah, no, things are great, and I'm excited. And I hope you guys are having good seasons as well, and that's about it. So, I'll go ahead and call it. In Atlanta, Georgia, I'm Adam Johnson.
In Greensboro, North Carolina, I'm Dan Ray.
You've been listening to the Coverbandconfidential podcast for the week of August 15th, 2025.
The world now rocks a little more and sucks a little less. These guys have been working hard to make that happen, but we need to help them do more. Get